What's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo of AdFreeShows.com, SCScoops.com, and OneTrueSportTV.com. How's everybody doing today? I am flying solo. Robert Carpolis is having some internet issues, so damn it, Robert's internet. Yes, no Robert today. We will not have Robert tomorrow either. So you get stuck with me. I'll potentially have a guest tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But you are getting just solo Dom solo, if you will. Let's say hi to some folks in the chat before we get to covering some Dynamite here. We got Triple E saying, "What's up?" Willie Thornbrew saying, "I'm not happy with last night's Dynamite. I need more Harley Cameron in my life." Yes, we will talk about that. Cameo Star in the house again. Time for a hot R&I on a uber cold day. It is cold out. My goodness, cold in Pittsburgh. It's like 15 degrees, I'm guessing. Tony Gong, time must pass differently in AEW. Mox's reign already feels longer than Roman's. God, it is dragging, isn't it? It really is. Giant Disco says, "Good day, R&I." Jeff Hedinger says, "It's been a busy week, but finally got tuned in live for R&I. Happy to see you here, Jeff." Wrestling Old Ed says, "Stony Storm's promo is a surefire segue into a Blue Chew ad." My goodness, was it not? Was it not? That is a perfect stuff. Christopher Zento says, "Good morning, gang. Let's rumor. Let's do it to it, guys." And shout out to all Jake too. Wait, so they're debuting Gabe Kidd on a taped Collision? Kind of weird. So yes, and damn it, Robert, says Ron Ward. All right, yeah. Dynamite. I just basically finished watching it. Actually, to be honest, I didn't catch the main event here, but I do think it was okay. Right? It was I think they're trying. I think there's some things that do need to be kind of buttoned up, and some of this stuff is just like it's just a hard situation that they put themselves in for these for the past couple of years. It's just some of these stars I think can continue to make this thing, but you are stuck in a really, hate to say it, flat company right now. It's no matter what they kind of try to do at this moment in time, they're in the hole, and they have to slowly and methodically and well planned out dig their way out of it, or climb their way out of it. I don't know, but they got to find a way out of this hole. And is there a way out? I think at some point, yeah, but I don't know. It's some of this stuff kind of feels like, I hate to be so negative with it. It's a pretty decent Dynamite, but it's just that's just the overcast it has. And I think you see how Grand Slam Australia went. I mean, it was a fine show, but yet, like Robert said, it felt like a glorified Collision. It basically was a Collision, and then it's hard to find on Max. But follow up here. We had a promo with two AEW originals and MJF and Hangman Page. I thought the confrontation was overall a thumbs up, but I do think they should have tightened it up a little bit more. I think getting Hangman to talk that long kind of shows some holes in his promo ability. I don't think he's bad at it. I don't think he's necessarily great at it either. I think he's kind of like middle of the road, and it's just and that's not to say that there was some endearing stuff about it in certain ways, because when he's cutting a promo, he's kind of saying things that are like, he's putting plurals on things that aren't plurals, and I'm like, dude, I would probably be doing that too. Like I tend to do that when I do some like improv stuff or whatever. So I don't word my words right. Anything like that. So I can certainly sympathize in that regard, but I think shorter the better when it comes to Hangman in his promos. I think like he could have conveyed the message that he got to MJF in a much more succinct manner, and kind of just got this wild like endearing kind of cowboyish character that we like. I don't like the aspect that Daniels, I understand the storyline they're doing with it, but like they haven't really built Daniels in the best way over these past months on television either. He's just like been this patsy fake GM basically, and then he has a match with Hangman that I think significant as the last match of his career, that kind of thing. And I respect the aspect of them turning it into a storyline and trying to make it something. But like, how many mentors are we going to have in wrestling here? Like, I never thought for a second Daniels as a mentor to Hangman Page. We never got that. Did we ever get a clarification as to why? I understand Christopher Daniels is a veteran of the ring and has been well traveled, been in ROH and all over the globe, and so has Hangman Page. But have we ever made that association that he's really his mentor? Like you could just pick anybody. Samoa Joe, he's my mentor. Like just because he's wrestled a lot, I don't know. You know, I think it was a well executed thing. I think MJF is great at being that little bratty heel that's knows it. Now I like the aspect too, where like it seemed like he touched a note with, and this is where they could have left it at. Basically, was Hangman was like, there's something that missed that you haven't achieved yet. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, and it's like basically referring to the approval of the fans, and that seemed to hit a hard note with MJF, and MJF reacted well to that. I thought that was really good, and I think it speaks. I'm thinking about him being in Hollywood and doing this kind of thing. Like MJF's got some acting chops, and I think he knows when to pull it back. He knows when to push the pedal to the metal kind of thing, and make it feel like more. So I think the confrontation was good. I think it could have been better if it was shorter. And I think less is more when it comes to Hangman. If you make him say a few words that mean a lot of significance, I think that not only helps him, helps the character, helps get the story across a little bit better. Cowboy shit is not talking a whole lot, I would say too, right? That's what I think. Sorry I swore, but that's the catchphrase. Let's see. Chris, oh my god. I wonder who gets this reference. I won't say the other one. I want Chris Daniels as Della Reese. If anybody gets this reference without me reading Wrestling Old Head's other comment, hats off to you. That popped me though. He also says MJF is really effective when he's riffing with a guy in a promo battle and they aren't buying for time, or he's backstage. Yeah. Seemed like this just went on a little long and than it needed to be. I'm also sick of the trope that AEW has developed and just let's beat up security guards. Like, wasn't really a reason for Hangman to beat up security guards. Didn't seem like it was that, obviously I know he got held back and he got spit on, but is that the security guard's fault? No. Like, yeah, MJF's a jerk. He spit on you. Yeah, so I thought it was a fine opening segment. I want a little bit more by it being less. Where are we at here? You can tell I did a little. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta scroll all the way up. Thanks to shout out the Bleacher Report here for the results that I am looking at. Oh yeah, the patriarchy versus the ops. Yeah, I like. I love Samoa Joe. I think that's what it really boils down to here. It's awesome to see Samoa Joe back. He feels like a star. He feels like a big deal. Them going up against the patriarchy, yeah, it makes sense for a little return thing. I thought the match was good and it told a good story. I think Robert kind of predicted this, which was, Christian was going to chicken out, and he did. Hook had, I believe it was, Nick Wayne in the Taz Mission, and then he did not, or Red Rum, is it called now? But instead of trying to make the save, he chickened out and let his son tap out. So I thought this was good. Definitely want to see bigger things for Joe. Ultimately, I think it would be much more intriguing to have Samoa Joe versus John Moxley at this juncture. Could we get that after Edge here? Yeah, or Cope? Yeah, I think. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I thought this was a fine match. Ops, fine faction. Okay, yeah, just a lot of factions. Where's this trio stuff going? There's no incentive, it seems. What's the end game to this? I'm seeing a promising end game with this, and that's Big Bill versus Powerhouse Hobbs, the street fight. Look, you didn't have to do anything too wild here, but they did some pretty cool spots. Both guys look like legitimate and world beaters. Before we get to that, though, I'll talk. Chris Jericho cut his promo too, I believe, before this, and I liked it. It made me think. Are we I think we're on the closing end here of this learning tree thing, and I think this match is also going to be an eventual indicator of that too, because yeah, I thought these guys were good, and I thought Powerhouse looks like just a absolute world beater. So cool finish, made sense. It didn't hurt Big Bill in a way because he was caught in the barbed wire and couldn't get upright and anything to that effect. So I think that was well done. I think it was, and that everybody did a very good job in what they were supposed to be doing there. I think so. Yeah, it's kind of it's a promising thing for not just Haas but for Big Bill. I think both guys they can get a lot of mileage out of, and I'm intrigued to see this. What will seem to be Jericho will be challenging Bandito, putting his ROH title on the line against Bandito on Collision. So I think he'll get a loss there. We'll get a new champion on Collision, and then we'll see the further dissension and breaking up of the learning tree, and then we'll get a feud with Big Bill and Jericho, which I think is going to be a worthy payoff. So yeah, I thought that this match was pretty good too. As far as, let's see, scrolling. Just keep on scrolling. Tony Storm, yes, offers an open invitation basically, and man, Tony Storm should be teaching promo class in AEW, and that's a legit shoot on my part. I think she should really be teaching promo class because she knows who she is, she knows who her character is, she knows what tone to hit, how to make her what she says engaging, and how to get the crowd invested. So yeah, I mean, I think if she were able to sit down and do basically character work with a lot of the talents here and bring out the best out of other people from a persona standpoint, like it just feels like somebody that knows what they're doing there. And I think Tony Storm is a good role model, good ambassador for that. I mean, she is seriously, obviously, arguably one of the best things going in AEW, and one of the most consistent top personalities that company has had. So like I would really highly consider having her teach promo class or character work or something. Like, make the most of the talent that you have on the roster. You want to make your company different and stuff like that. Have a lot of these talents that you have at your fingertips. Do stuff that's, not necessarily in the ring. You can think about like what Edge could help or Cope could help in certain things about, how to protect yourself as a star and certain things like that. And not from a physical standpoint, considering what he's been doing to his body in the ring, but maybe from like, hey, how do I protect my value and everything like that? Like there's certain so many people to pick the brains of there. And it's just I don't know, from how it sounds, it just does not sound like that's really been a big thing about it. You can tell I'm looking over here. We might be getting a Razor running at some point. He's looking around and climbing. So I'm suspicious. Wrestling Goldhead said Tony Storm is basically doing this all by herself. I have heard that RJ City and Renee Paquette are pitching ideas. It seems like a polished character that came from the WWE's conveyor belt. I think you're on to yeah. I think from what I heard too, I think RJ City and Renee are good influences at the very least. And RJ City's an old soul, so he's very attuned to certain things that can be done when it comes to a timeless character like Tony Storm. So I would not be shocked at all if RJ City has a good influence on this. He's great. So yeah, I like it. All Jake says Suspicious Razor is a good band name. Oh, that is a good band name. Yes. Yeah, he's up to no good. He's up to no good. Wait till you see. I might have to get up at some point. He is up to he's a troublemaker, that guy. All right. Next up we have, yes, Cope promises to eliminate both the Death Riders ahead of Revolution. All right, you know how I know that the Death Riders are wearing the AEW version of their white T-shirts without looking at the logo that's down below, but I did. Is they don't fit them as well. They aren't that good of T-shirts. That's like the white T-shirts they had fit them much better, almost like they were a perfect fit or a perfect jean T-shirt or a true classic T-shirt. Favorite of that brand. But I don't think, yes, their T-shirts aren't as good. I noticed that. They fit like a wrestling fan T-shirt. We all know what that fits like. So yeah. So okay, Willow gets attacked again. Is this like the drummer, the Spinal Tap drummer? Is that the role she's playing here? They constantly have to get a new drummer. She constantly gets attacked by the Death Riders here, and then she gets. It's just like, I understand what they're doing, and I like the fire and conviction that she speaks with. Also, this I think Renee becoming not becoming, but Renee being the wife of John Moxley, and like the talent noting it too. I understand they're trying to like not patronize the fans here, and also, but I think, again, I think I said this before, is that you need to separate Renee from Moxley here. You need to kind of be like do almost like, it is what they would basically kind of do in a reporter or journalism aspect, is like if you're covering something that's pertinent to you. So, for example, if I was doing an interview with my brother Marcus, and my brother Marcus was in a big news story, and it was causing a lot of news, controversy, something like that. Would I be the best person for Marcus to sit down and talk with, or ask Marcus questions? Or would I have my fair share of bias in what I was going to ask Marcus? He's my brother. I shouldn't be doing that. They should have somebody else be doing stuff like this. And so I know she's interviewing Willow, but Willow has her beef with the Death Riders. They're under the same umbrella. They're in a company. I think you could create a fun story where Renee is maybe there in a different kind of capacity, or like she expresses her distaste for what John is doing, and then she takes a leave of absence till this bad storyline blows over. I don't know. I just like it. It's just kind of a glaring issue. But Renee is likable, and Renee has always been likable. Moxley's a bad guy right now. Why, Renee, are you like, I don't know. It's you want to create that kind of separation in something like that. I think, Renee's great at her job, and she's one of the, I think I would say she's probably the best interviewer since Mean Gene. Let me think. Is there somebody else that I would say? No, I think she is, because like if you look at what Mean Gene did for wrestling and wrestlers, that there was he brought more out of the talent in a good way. I think Renee does that from a modern perspective. So I mean, I understand why we want to keep her, because she's so good at her job. But I think having her be in the thick of this Moxley stuff just by association, by marriage, makes it a little tough to have something like that happen. I wouldn't say a divorce. I would say just like I don't know how you could angle it. Maybe we're separated. I kind of would like that. And then you're kind of free and clear in certain ways. Renee should pop into the Death Riders hideout and say, "I'm leaving and taking the kids. You've lost your mind." Yeah, something like that would be great. I mean, that's things. Or you don't even have to necessarily do too much. You don't even have to go that far. Like a look of like there's something going on here. And or like you do something where like Renee's like, "Hey, John, you need to talk." And then boom. We don't see the conversation. We're not privy to that. We're not allowed to see that. And then next week Renee's not on television. And then you have somebody say, Lexi Nair say, Renee's taking leave of absence. I'll be stepping in for her. There we go. Boom. Storyline. Continue it for a little bit more till you end the storyline. I don't know. Am I being nitpicky, or is that a fair thing? Okay. So yes, we get Cope coming out here. He comes in with what's the name of his friend? The Spike. Oh, Spike. Spike, and says he's gonna take out the Death Riders one by one. Didn't wasn't that Kazarian's plan with the Elite? Wasn't he the Elite Hunter or something like that? So they're kind of redoing a storyline here. Doesn't make the Death Riders feel like a big deal. Like if you're going to take them out one by one, like, you know, it took like Sting a full freaking year and a half to try to eliminate the NWO, and the payoff wasn't that great. So who knows? But I feel like kind of just not into it. Just not into it. But we're getting that match at Revolution. We're also getting MJF and Hangman Page at Revolution, so that should be, we'll see how they continue with that. But yeah, I think there's some legs to some of this stuff. Let's see. Oh, we had a Renee interview with Mercedes Moné, and like somebody said here in the chat that they were disappointed Harley Cameron wasn't there. I'm disappointed in the whole aspect of how Harley Cameron handled. She should have won that title. It feels just like a missed opportunity. She's a hot hand. She's very talented. I think somebody unexpected like her that is so new to the business, her defeating somebody like Mercedes Moné it makes perfect sense. Because it's just like, okay, who could beat Mercedes Moné? Somebody unexpected? It would just been a great way to kind of pivot Mercedes Moné into bigger and better things. Potentially this Tony Storm Open Challenge or Open Invitation, which I don't think we're gonna get. I don't know. It's just all right. And so who is challenging Mercedes Moné next? Somebody I never even heard of, and somebody that was just at Wrestle Dynasty, and that they just showed like literally like a 20-second package for. So that's how we familiarize with that. Buzz something. I'm about to find the name here, but I think that's such a huge disservice to Mercedes Moné, to the talent that I'm still trying to find the name of, and it to the TBS Championship and what you're doing, the plans with your women's division. This is actually ludicrous. This is probably like, the more I think about it, the more angry I get about it. Momo Watanabe. Come on. Like, what are we doing here? You have this many different women in your division. And so this just feels like another easy win for Mercedes Moné. And, if it isn't, and you have Watanabe win, shouldn't this have happened with Carly Cameron? Somebody that's been you've been working on for a few weeks, at least a couple months, actually, and who's been doing great work. So this is a lose-lose here. This is just an awful decision. Mercedes Moné does not feel okay. I hate to say this. I said this. So I did my show with Greg Gagne, Magnum TA yesterday. Straight Talk with the Boss, 4horsemanetwork.com. Uh, and we were talking about Charlotte Flair and how she was going up against Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania, and how there's a contingency of fans that don't want to see Charlotte Flair in that main event role. But no matter kind of what they think, she is still a huge star. She is still the bar for women's wrestling in a lot of ways. That, like, okay, when you think of a women's wrestler in today's world and who has held so many championships, Charlotte Flair is like number one. So I think you can make an argument potentially, like an ardent fan could make an argument how they don't want to see Charlotte Flair in the WrestleMania main event picture, but I think there's more marketability in having her there than there isn't. So I was making the case for that, and then I started being like, she's a part of the Four Horsewomen, and I literally started rattling off the Four Horsewomen: Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley. Uh, mm, hmm. I couldn't think of the fourth one. I couldn't think of the fourth one. And I think it was Magnum TA that mentioned that it was Sasha Banks. I completely forgot Mercedes Moné was one of the Four Horsewomen. What does that tell you about what they've been doing with Mercedes Moné? Very frustrating. You know, Dynamite or AEW takes one step forward with their women's division when they bring in a talent like Megan Bayne, when they utilize a talent like Harley Cameron. And when you have other talents that are kind of still in the mix a little bit, like Thunder Rosa. Like, you want to see, she's a star, like, I think, and you can like go back to the well with her, absolutely. But then they take two steps back by doing stuff like this. It just don't get it, don't like it, think it's very not a good move, and it's a small little picture window into what AEW does wrong right now. So yes, that probably my most down part of the show here was that we had Chris Statlander versus Megan Bayne. Speaking of these two, Bayne gets the win after interference from Penelope Ford. Thunder Rosa comes out. Little bit of weird exchange with the steel chair. I don't get kind of what happened there. I think just a miscommunication, but whatever. Stuff happens. So Max Caster has a promo, and he issues another open challenge for Collision. So there we go. I like the Max Caster role here. I think he's showing he's has the ability to be this smarmy heel that's doesn't have to rap and lean on that as a crutch. I think that's good for him. I think that's good. So hats off to him. Also, hats off to I like the Death Machines. Well, no, the Monster Machines. Lance Archer and Brian Cage. I like them as a tandem. I like that they got some promo time too on Collision. On Dynamite. Would have loved to see a little bit more. I don't like them just kind of like they were sitting under a heat lamp, and here, let's put them out to face the Hurt Syndicate. I don't like how quick of a turnaround that is. I don't think that's very helpful for anybody. Murder Machines. Is that what I said? I don't even remember. Yeah. So yeah, cool to see them get promo time. Like to see them build that up a little bit more, because man, that's like a 4 big dudes like going at it. I don't know. Like, yeah, I just want to see a little bit more from that. It's like, if you're gonna make me get invested in that, do a little bit more than having it like literally like about a week and a half build. Well, speaking of people though who are good on the mic, Ricochet, he did a really good job. I love his heel role. I love what he's doing with the crowd, and he's finding his groove here. He gets in a confrontation with Nana. I like that dynamic. I like that Nana didn't come out dancing, and we got to see a serious Nana coming out. I'm kind of against them really perpetuating this feud still with Swerve. I wanted to see both guys go their own separate route here now, because I don't think, while I think it does make sense, I think there's just more I want to see Ricochet get more out there. And like he mentioned, he wants gold. And I think that's the right direction to take him in. in some form or fashion, and maybe like have him go up against Danny Garcia, who they have not done anything with like that we've seen from a consistent basis on Dynamite. So I just don't. Just I mentioned like that that they're trying, but they're not uh, tightening things up here, where it's just like uh, there's so much more that you can go after. Okay, so help me out here, guys. I don't watch Collision, but there happens to be AEW International Championship Series. Orange Cassidy returns to face Roderick Strong, and then he gets the win, and now he's the number one contender for the International Championship. Was there another series match here? What is going on here? Why don't they just call this a number one contendership match? And isn't Kenny Omega already the number one contender for the International Championship? What am I missing? Is there something that I'm missing here? I don't get it. It says where's this at? Why are we making Orange Cassidy in this mix again when he's probably not going to win this championship? And then we got Kenny going up against Takeshita. What am I missing? All Jake says Tony Math. Tony Math is like more complicated than Steiner Math. Like, yeah, who actually does watch Collision? Listen, I hear good things about Collision. I appreciate the notion that they're making effort for people to watch Collision, but so much of the audience has been trained to not watch Collision that if you don't have a star on Dynamite, they basically feel like they don't exist, aka Daniel Garcia, aka that TNT championship. I don't even know if he's on Collision. Is he on Collision on a regular basis? It just kind of speaks to what's happening. Do they give me a little bit of incentive to watch this week? Yeah, they do give me a little bit of incentive because I want to see. I would kind of like to see what happens with Bandito in this ROH title. Will he actually win it against Jericho? Like that's something that's kind of cool, I think. But it's also like, okay, it's a Saturday night. People got stuff to do, usually, even in the wintertime. Like, so, like, am I tuning into Collision at 8 p.m. When I've been trained kind of not to really, that Collision isn't that important? No, I'm not. I like it. I hear a good. I mean, from what it sounds like I would like what they do on there for the majority of this part, but I don't know. I don't think they know. Look, I know it's really critical of Dynamite, but it was a decent show for Dynamite, and I think it was okay. There's just, it's hard not to note the criticisms when everything's not necessarily there. Something else I was going to say too. Oh, I don't know how much they can do with this. The crowd, you hearing fans' comments during the promos. Have that you guys noticed that? Like, you're hearing individual fans make comments during the in-ring promos. Like, somebody's like saying like he was a good man or something like that when it comes to Christopher Daniels and during the opening segment there, and like hit your friend or stuff like that. You hear people saying crap. Like, is there a different way to mic the place so you don't hear that? So it does. Those mics don't pick that up. I think it's just coming. Maybe like they. I don't think their attendance must have been that good. Like, because I was kind of looking after that fact, and I was like, how dimmed out is the arena? And I'm looking around, and I was like, it's pretty. They darkened a lot of it, so I don't know how much of a house they necessarily had. But man, there's just a lot to be like, what is happening here? I want this. I want the show to be good. I want the product to be good, but there's not a lot that you can do. I'm frustrated by it. I want the AEW to be a great, fun show, and I think it was pretty decent, like for what they presented. But I also just like it does not. It's not a hot product right now. Like I just said, it's not, and I. It's a difficult thing that it's a difficult position that they put themselves in. That Tony Khan put the company in here, where it's just like, you have not done your due diligence at doing everything, and it's a shame because when everything started off, like there seemed to be just this fire under AEW, like, hey, we're gonna get momentum. We want to be the best wrestling company in the world, and here's what we're presenting on a week basis, where it's like appointment tune in television. I saw this on social media, was like 5 years ago, yesterday or the day before was the 5-year anniversary of when Cody Rhodes, I think it was 5 years, maybe it's 4, did a moonsault off the top of a cage onto Wardlow and got a win. And it was a big moment in AEW. And both those guys, well, Cody, a WWE World Champion, arguably the biggest babyface the company has right now, WWE in the primary pro wrestling company there is, and Wardlow is nowhere to be seen on AEW. So what are we doing here? It's just it was cool to see that highlight, but it was also kind of sad. Like, where have we gone? I don't think that's just it, J-Roy J. Like, he might be injured, but I don't. He wasn't injured for several times and they weren't using him. So, yeah. Why would I give up drinking with the girls night for C-tier wrestling show? Exactly. People got stuff to do on their Saturday night, and the AEW's created the dynamic where I don't necessarily have to watch Collision to know what's going on when the wrestling on AEW. So okay. Oh, Jake has a good hometown perspective. I live 1.5 miles from that theater. It's not an arena, and the 2 balconies were darkened and empty. Wow, how about that? So he said, no way they had more than 2,500 in there. Well, thank you for the insight, Jake. Yeah, because I know you were at SmackDown a couple weeks ago too. So yeah, it's you hear the individual crowd stuff. It's distracting, and I don't know. Can they lure Paul Heyman away with a lifetime supply of cheeseburgers? I don't think so. I think Paul is very well respected in WWE, and people value his opinion there. And he's at the head of the table, for lack of a better word. Yeah, I think Jeff put it best here. I think Wardlow's soul is injured, right? Who wouldn't have been? What a big disservice they did to him. And yeah, that's like, there's 2 sides, but it's also like, man, there's 2 sides to a lot of things, and you see a lot of stars get put in the right position. I definitely don't think it was Wardlow's attitude or anything to that effect that has gotten him off television. I think he probably has a different philosophy, and he kind of respected his own value and what he can do for a company. And then when somebody like that doesn't get utilized, there's going to be frustration. Like, and like if you're on the rise and you're feeling yourself getting hot, and the crowd's into you, and it feels like they're going to pull the trigger, and then they pull the rug out from under you. Like, yeah, I'd be pretty frustrated too. And I think a lot of those talents are. Hence why they're not there anymore. I want AEW to succeed. I am not an AEW hater by any sort of the imagination. I want everybody to succeed in wrestling. And, if AEW is a good wrestling show, so will WWE be. And like, it's just a back and forth. It's the rising tide raises all boats. And, AEW is just they're not doing it. It's like they're doing better, but there's still a lot of speed bumps in what they're not doing, I think. Yes, Punk and Rhodes leaving hurt a lot, as well as the morale of some of the up and coming. Absolutely. You see guys that come there like Cody Rhodes, who helped get the company started, and he felt arguably like the ambassador of the whole company. Where it was just like, yeah, he's the spokes guy of us. He's the franchise, and then he leaves, and okay, hey, but in the same time as the two ships passing in the night, here's Cody Rhodes, here's CM Punk. So they're still, this is an AEW's right here. Boom, they're here for AEW together for a little bit, and then they go their separate ways. And then, hey, okay, Punk's over here. There we go. He's over in WWE. So it's like you had those opportunities, and you see what these veterans do and their thought process and the friendships they made with some of the younger talent that they wanted to build up. ALA Ricky Starks, ALA Wardlow, but Powerhouse Hobbs, who did a good job on Wednesday. But and then they see them leaving, and Jade Cargill. Look at what the kind of impression you're making here. Look at this too. Cammy says it here. I quit AEW for TNA. Much happier in my wrestling watching. Yes, TNA seems like a way more captivating wrestling product. And NXT, like I said yesterday, watching a little bit of NXT and catching at least a good half of it. I was like, I got to start watching NXT a little bit more. And, I've heard stuff too that it's not everything is, ooh, man, but it seems like a much fresher product. And like, there's no, I mean, what better indication can you get too when they're inserting some established talents too in there, like a Jordan Grace, a Moose, the Hardy Boys are returning. There's a lot of excitement there. And now Ricky Saints now being a part of it. So there's a lot of different things that go with that. Oh, thanks. Got to run. Good show today, Dom. See you tomorrow. If you guys have questions, get them in real quick. But let me tell you too, because I'm getting a little hungry, and I know the best thing to kind of do is to enjoy some food. And I enjoy cereal. If you knew me from college, I was obsessed with cereal. I ate cereal all the time. That's what I was known for in college, was eating cereal. Well, now I'm getting up there. I'm turning 40 in June. So I have to kind of watch what I eat, be a little bit more particular with my choices. So I can't be eating the Lucky Charms. I can't be eating the Count Chocula. I can't be eating, heck, even the Frosted Mini Wheats. So what do I have? I have Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is great. I'm a big fan. And as a kid, I loved eating cereal. Same as an adult, I do. But I don't want all that sugar, and most cereals don't give me the protein that I need. Then I found Magic Spoon, a nostalgically delicious cereal that tastes just like my childhood favorites, but without the sugar and a ton of protein. If you're already a Magic Spoon fan, I have big news. Magic Spoon has turned their super popular cereal into high-protein treats that are light, crispy, and tasty, just like those classic crunchy cereal bars in your yesteryear. Magic Spoon's brand new treats are so delicious and have already become my favorite before and after gym snack. Look, it's like you need a quick little protein fix. These guys do the trick. They have the peanut butter and chocolate one, which I like a lot, and just the frosted one, which is really, really good too. So I'm a big fan of both of those. And if you like the cereal, every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein. That's 0 grams of sugar and 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you're eating. The most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa, and there are so many more. I like the peanut butter one. I like mixing the peanut butter actually with the chocolate. So that's good. That's something to think about. So you get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/rumor, or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/rumor down below for $5 off. Magic Spoon, hold on to the dream. So I like Magic Spoon. All right. Any questions? If there's no questions, no big deal. I don't feel you won't hurt my feelings. All chicks going to turn 43 in June. How about that? June 2nd. Me too. I'm June 2nd. Wow. Look we got a lot of Geminis maybe in here. So, yeah, turn 40 in June. Wrestling Old Head. June 16th. Happy early birthday. 30 in July. Triple H. Geez, you're a youngin'. Turning 30 is great. Let me tell you that much. I'll trade you if you want to trade. But honestly, I don't feel like I'm 40. I feel like I'm 28. I really do. I don't feel older than that. So yeah, age is just a number. Age is just a number. If you keep yourself healthy, you keep yourself, I think, socially active, you keep yourself in the mix, you'll feel younger. Watch what you eat. All Jake says, I am 619. Wow, everybody's dropping their ages. Holy smokes. Okay. Cammy's turning 42 next month. Yeah, I think we all are waiting to still grow out of wrestling. I don't think that'll change though. People watch soap operas like they don't grow out of that. People like the drama. All right. I think that'll do it for me. Oh, I did break some news today. You're gonna have a really hard time guessing who my source is on this one, but yeah, I broke some news today. Hacksaw Jim Duggan has signed a Legends deal with WWE. He is back with the company. I am the first to report it, and you're probably one of the few of several to hear it first. So Hacksaw Jim Duggan back with WWE. Signed a Legends deal. He's excited to be a part of that ecoscape again. He's been away for a few years, so he's looking forward to being on potentially on the video game, potentially on in the Mattel line again. So some cool stuff if you're a Golden Era wrestling fan. And hey, you can check Jim Duggan out on the Generation, what's it called? The Golden Era Network, Hacksaw Hour with Jim Duggan and a guy named Marcus D'Angelo. So yes, I'll say again, I broke some exclusive news through some sources. Hacksaw Jim Duggan has signed a Legends deal with the company WWE. So congrats to Hacksaw. Hopefully you guys can figure out who the source is. Hey, so yesterday I went live with Fonzie, Bill Alfonso. He's in a new business venture. Speaking of new business for people, he is part of Ruda Entertainment. They do custom belts. So shout out to them. Take a look at Ruda Entertainment, RUDA Entertainment. Type that in on the Google. If you're looking for good custom made belts, this guy knows what he's doing. We had him on the show. He talked about the process in his attention to detail and care for making custom products like belts. So take a look, and Fonzie's very happy to be aboard of that. So we talk about that and just stuff upcoming. Fonzie's going to be at WrestleMania weekend in Vegas. I'll be at WrestleMania weekend in Vegas. RVD obviously will be there. It's going to be a really good time. Robert Karpelis will be in Vegas. The first time me and him will actually meet person to person. I'm excited. I hope I shock him with how tall I am. Also went live with Greg Gagne and Magnum TA yesterday. And we chatted a good deal of stuff. So some fun stories. Greg has a very fun Vern Gagne story about a buffalo coat. So really good ground covered yesterday. We talk in detail about maybe the future plans for Elimination Chamber, what's to come at WrestleMania. Great perspective from both guys. And how Dusty Rhodes' promo habits. Man, that's a good little topic too. That's a really fun one that I did not expect to have yesterday. So you can catch that at 4horsemanetwork.com. You can catch Fonzie at rvdtv.com. I'm going to post the podcast as well. So if you're looking to tune into stuff, go to One of a Kind with RVD on your podcast feed of choice, or go to Four Horseman Network and subscribe to both. Give them 5 stars, support the show that way. Robert, like I said, is without internet. So I'm sure at some point he and Scott will record the new episode of Working Stiff. And when they do, I will be sure to post it because I am the best podcast producer in the biz, as Robert says. What else do I want to say? I guess that's it. Enjoy the rest of the week. I'll be here tomorrow. So if you want to join me again, you'll see me again tomorrow. We'll talk we'll preview SmackDown. And any of the news that breaks. Don't think I'll be breaking any more news this week, but hey, you never know. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes it just hits you out of left field, and then I'm like, all right, I got to write about this. But you can check out that exclusive article, by the way, on SEScoops.com right now. Tell them that I'm saying. All right, guys, it's been a lot of fun. RVD Pod. Oh, thank you, jeez. Triple E, thank you for the update. We're recording tomorrow, Friday night. Me and RVD are going live, rvdtv.com, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, typically. So be on the lookout for that. We'll make an announcement via socials here once I confirm with Rob here what we're going to be doing exactly. So, but yes, so you'll see me tomorrow as well. Tomorrow here on Rumor and Innuendo, on the Working Stiff YouTube channel, on the Rumor and Innuendo YouTube channel, on the Ad Free Shows YouTube channel, on SD Scoops' X account, on my X account at Dominic D'Angelo, and on Robert Karpolis' X account at WD Creative_ish. And you can catch us live every Monday through Friday, noon p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then you can catch me tomorrow at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, rvdtv.com. All right, guys. Been a good show. Thank you, everybody, for joining in and interacting. Always love the audience in here and appreciate your patronage. So before tomorrow, I just wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. And let's give a round of applause for Christopher Daniels. I'm not being facetious. I do like Daniels. All right. See you tomorrow.